Ain't see keeping it moving today. All right, everybody, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? We are going live in just a moment here. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got a very, very exciting show, and I don't know where Miss Bowman is. She over here playing with her phone, but she ain't got video. You gonna turn your video on so the world can see you? Now she hiding out from y'all. She hiding y'all. Ready? All right, how y'all doing? Come on, get on in here. All right, who we got tuning in with us?
WMPR. This is the one is on the side at 6 o'clock. Where every Thursday comes your way from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Reliable representation with your host, Avery Nelson, and also co-host, Brittany. And guys, we're going to studio with your host, Avery Nelson.
All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Reliable Representation Talk Show. We are so happy to have you joining us. We got a very interesting show lined up this evening, and it feels good to be back in Studio B. I was on the go last week, and so I was doing it remotely, but it's good to be back in the studio. And how you doing over there, Miss Lady B? How you doing?
I'm great. And yourself?
I can't complain.
I'm
It ain't gonna change nothing if we do.
I totally agree.
All right, so what's going on? I see you got some stuff over there.
I went so much. What do you have on your agenda for today?
Well, we have a very special guest that's going to be joining us a little later, a candidate. And I'm not going to tell y'all, y'all got to stick around to see who our person is, but a very, very exciting guest that we have. Before we begin the show, we just want to remember our Summit, Mississippi family. I don't know if you've heard or not, but there was a police officer that was killed in the line of duty today. So the police officer was killed, another one was shot and injured, and the suspect was shot and killed. But we always talk about this. We gotta put the guns down, and I hate that. I hate when we have to, go through this and deal with these things. But gun violence is on the rise. When we look at our gun laws here in Mississippi, we're one of the most relaxed states when it comes to gun ownership, and I am an avid believer of responsible gun ownership. And so I think we need to have enhanced background checks when we talk about things that convert guns over. So we really got to start working on that to get some of these things off the street. So we just want to remember our Summit Police family, in our prayers. What you got over there for me?
So back to school bash. Quite a few people had some on this past week, and so we definitely want to encourage everyone. If you don't have school supplies for your children and you are definitely in need of some, you can feel free to reach out to myself at 601-421-0877. But we're trying to help those families that are in need, not those families who are actually being greedy. So it's for the needy and not the greedy. So if you have children or you know of children that are anywhere in the state of Mississippi that need school supplies, definitely let me know, and we'll be certain to get those school supplies to those babies.
That is absolutely great. And I want to say good evening to Ms. Darlene Wilson down there in Utica, Mississippi. I also want to say good evening to Timothy Brown. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. And Timothy Brown said, "Hey, Lady B." And so it's always a pleasure to have y'all joining us. And back to school. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, when I saw DT 56 pull up in my house on Tuesday morning at 7:55, it was just a joy. I was so happy to see my kids get on their bus going back to school. So are you happy that school is back in session?
I have mixed feelings.
Mixed feelings, why?
I enjoyed the break. When school starts, time flies by. The days are very short now. So, yeah, I have mixed feelings.
I tell you this, your pocket is going to appreciate it when your light bill go down and your grocery bill go down. Because I know mine has been burning a hole in my pocket. I thought I was going to need a part-time job. And so I'm definitely happy that school is back in session. Kids are back and they're excited. Had a really good first week back in school. And August the 19th, I will be back in the classroom again. I will be a student at the I Love Jackson State University in the PhD program, pursuing my PhD in public administration. And so I am excited about this journey, yet a little bit nervous, but ready to get back in school. And so, me and my kids can study together. They study all the time. So now I'll be studying with them.
Great.
And so what have we been hearing going on at the schools? Anything going on out in
I just heard about a school board meeting tonight, so hopefully Mr. Stewart or someone from the Hinds County Public School District community can either call in or next week, make a special appearance to let us know what the school board meeting entails, what it did entail for tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because one of my constituents reached out to me last week. I don't know if I told you about this, but she reached out to me and she said she wants to know why Hinds County School District does not offer summer school. So she said basically, like in the summer, it's not any like summer school, not summer programs at Hinds County School District, which I never really thought about it, but there isn't a summer school at Hinds County School District. And so I started the conversation with her. I put her in contact with Mr. George Stewart, and I think he's going to kind of be asking people on the school board about that. Why don't we have things to do in the summer for our kids out there? Another thing, the summer feeding program. We need to get a summer feeding program out there at Hinds County School District. Because did they have any out in the Raymond area?
I'm not certain, so I don't want to speak on it because I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, I don't think they did, but we need to definitely consider that. The summer feeding program. So these are things that we need to explore. Because for next summer, and going forward. But it's always good when our constituents speak up and start asking questions about things that that might go overlooked that we don't necessarily think about. So I was grateful to have that conversation with her about that, and keep it moving. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about school board meetings and how important they are. People don't understand how important school board meetings are. Can you tell us a little bit why they're important to you?
It keeps you in the know of what's going on inside the school districts in which your children or our children attend. And so the benefit of it is you're aware of what the pros and cons are, if there are any on either side, as well as you're able to express issues and concerns that you have with those in leadership at those meetings. So my goal is to, since I'll be returning from vacation as well, beginning on Monday. So if you've been trying to reach me, and I have been out of pocket, definitely I have been attending some fellowship business as well as some vacationing. So Monday things get back to grind mode. So I'll return all calls, all text messages, all emails starting Monday. As it relates to working as far as business. But my goal, I said that to say my goal is to start bringing school board meeting dates for our Jackson Public School as well as Hinds County Public School and Clinton Public School districts since they're in the central area, so that people are aware of the dates for those who would like to attend.
You know what? That's really a great thing to do. And, I'm telling people to get involved in the school board meetings. So I need to beat myself up a little bit because I haven't been to a school board meeting.
I agree, me too.
And so, I can't just tell people, well, y'all need to go. I need to have my behind the school board meetings as well to know what's going on. Our school board, they are so vital to our community. They're educating our children. They're stabilizing the community. And if we don't have good leadership or proper leadership in place, we look at a failing school district and also a failing community, and that's what's happening around us in places right now. So we have to start making sure that we're touching every single point of government, because ultimately when we don't say anything and stand up and fight for things that we want and advocate for things that we need, we're not going to get the change that we need. A lot of people look at school board and say, "Oh, it's nothing, just school board." That's a powerful position, in our community, because if we don't have a solid school board recruiting good talent to teach our students, our kids are not going to get the proper education, because the school boards pick the principal, They're going to pick the superintendent. They're going to also pick the teachers, policies. When it comes down to a school closure, they are the ones that are the deciding factor, on the school closures. So we need to make sure that we're going to those school board meetings and getting involved. So it's so often that we have issues that are happening at school, and the community would just get on Facebook and talk about how bad it is. But getting on Facebook is not going to solve your issue. You got to go to those that are in charge. And when you go to those meetings and you look them in the face and you tell them why you feel the way you feel, and you have people from the community with you, that's how you start getting, responses and results out of them. And so, the thing is, our school board in Hinds County School District, they're all elected. And they're elected by us, the citizens of Hinds County. And as elected officials, we work for the people. It's not the other way around. We are your employees. And so if you have an employee not doing what they're supposed to do, you have to call them out on it. So we want to definitely encourage that. I did speak with Dr. Sanders the first day of school, and Dr. Sanders is the superintendent of Hinds County School District, and he said everything's going good. I think Dr. Sanders is doing a phenomenal job. This will be his first year as a superintendent. I support him. Whatever he needs, I want to do to, make it happen. What I like about him is he's very hands-on. He's involved in the schools. And the way I saw Dr. Sanders Tuesday was he actually came to Mayor White's coffee talk in Byram. And so he took out of his time, and he was running all the schools. So he knew how important it was to come and address the community and let us know what was going on. And so that's what we need, somebody that's going to be hands-on, actively, going, the things in the school and, in the community. Hey there to you, Jason Clark. How's it going? And so, really do like Dr. Sanders and the job that he's doing.
We have an announcement. I've been informed by Dr. Brian Grizel, councilman of Ward 4. There will be a quarterly public meeting with Jackson Water on August 10th. So if you have any issues, concerns, I highly recommend that you attend. It would be at 1054 Greymont Street from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. That's this Saturday, August 10th, 2024. Also, another announcement. J&J Productions present the second annual MegaFest, Bigger and Better. Tickets, $30 in advance, $40 at the door, $50 VIP. If you are interested in purchasing a ticket to the gospel concert, you can watch any social media page from Felix Marshall, Jaslyn Shanks Marshall, Joe Shonda Joyner, Joyce Joyner, and the information, the contact number is 601-937-5612 or 601-708-3738. So again, if you want to patronize this event, it will be held at Hinds Community College in Raymond, Mississippi. Definitely contact those individuals.
Good announcements, and thank you, Councilman Grizel, for calling in and letting people, not calling, but sending remarks to let people know of the Jackson Water meeting. I don't know if y'all been seeing on the news or not, but Jackson Water, they're looking for contractors to complete certain things and certain projects.
Really?
Yeah, they are, and so they're taking bids. Like I saw one of them, they had a bid for this was on news last night. They were looking for an IT person, or they need camera systems and so different things like that. So it's good to come to these meetings because, you can be walking into an opportunity. But alongside that, it's good to know what's going on with our water. That's very, very important. I'll bring it over here. So that is very, that was very, very important. That we get out there, get involved with Jackson Water to know what's going on. It's still done a conservatorship right now, but that's going to be going away in a few years. And so we have to start thinking and talking about what's going to happen once the conservatorship is over and, our manager, Ted Henfin, is going away. So definitely we want the community to be a part of the conversations that we're having, because it's nothing worse than decisions being made without the community being involved. And then we come tell the community the decision that we made, and people say, well, my voice wasn't heard. So now is your time to come speak up and let your voices be heard so that you can be a part, of this process with us. And so appreciate him for, letting us know about that.
Definitely.
It's always something going on around the city of Jackson, isn't it?
It is.
It is. It's always something going on. So we got to make sure we keep everybody, informed as to, what we have going on.
I totally agree. We do have one request. People
Okay.
may feel like that is not a request, but however it is,
Okay.
I kindly request that you all please help us to help our elected officials. Let's stop trashing our city and our county. I recently left Hines County today, ventured out to Rankin County, and it's like as if you're going into another state. The lawns are manicured better, the businesses establishments are better, and they have the same resources that we have. However, they are a stickler for making people abide by the rules and ordinances that are in place. You all, we want better, we have to act better, we have to demonstrate better. Something as simple as trash. Don't throw it out the window. I drive around with a garbage bag, a little shopping bag inside my car to dispose of trash. And when I get home, I actually just trash it. Please do that. Do not throw it out the window. That's pollution. That's everything else we're putting out into our air as well. But again, it's making us have a dirty city and a dirty county. We're constantly complaining about our elected officials aren't doing anything. They're not doing anything. Well, we're not helping them. We're actually making the problem and the load larger for them because we're steadily being nasty by throwing things out. I just believe this. If you're doing it to the city streets, I can only imagine what your homes are looking like. And it's a reflection because I mean you're just trashing everywhere you go. And you can allude to we went on Glen Erin. A lot of you may have seen our story where we went out and it's just we're actually working on the cleanup. So if you want to be a part of that cleanup team, definitely give myself Representative Nelson a call because we're organizing that cleanup to clean up that area. And so we need all professional, commercial, whatever services that you offer to team up with us to get it done because it is absurd how it looks around here.
You know what really shocked me?
What?
So we were looking at all the trash out there. What shocked me is there was like household garbage out there. So
Correct.
did somebody take their garbage bag out of their house full of garbage and just go throw it out there? I mean, I don't the effort that it takes in there. You pass all these garbage cans to go out there and just throw your garbage out there in the middle of the street. And so yeah, you're absolutely right about that. We got to stop trashing our city. It was, I want to say, First Lady, former First Lady, Pat Fordyce, and she had this "Stop Trashing Mississippi," and she has some good commercials. As she really initiated that initiative, and we need to get that back out and back going because it doesn't make any sense. And I'm gonna tell you, you go look in my truck, you probably like a garbage can. There's so much junk in there, and when I go to the gas station, we take it and throw it away. But keep it in your vehicle. Don't put it out there in the street. I mean, it's just.
And even at your homes, if you don't have a trash container, please, I know there's a neighbor or someone, you can purchase one from them, go to your local Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. Don't sit the trash on the street in just bags. Put it in a container that's easier for the waste management company, the Richards Disposal. That's easier for them. But when you're sitting out there, you don't know what's outside at night. So the critters are coming, tearing into the garbage. That's more work. You all think smart. I mean, if you think smart, the things that we're complaining about are not issues. If they're unavoidable issues, if we strategically aim at them correctly.
We have so many big problems that we need to be tackling.
Correct. And trash should be one.
And we shouldn't be creating another problem when we have other stuff we need to deal with. But I'll do one even better. If anybody needs a garbage can, I have 3 of these, I think 40 or 50 gallon garbage cans. If anybody needs one, you can have one of them because I can't use them because we, have a new garbage company. So if y'all need a garbage can, you can call up to the station 601-948-5950. I'll make arrangements because they're just sitting in my garage. But like you said, it doesn't make any sense. To have to, for our people in our communities to have to deal with this.
Yes.
And we were looking at the neighborhood. It was ironic how the part that was trash, you could see all the houses were abandoned. And then the ones where it wasn't trash, people live in there. So what they're saying is that it's just slowly spreading. And eventually, if we don't get a handle on it, those people are going to move out. I was speaking to a lady a few days ago. She lives, can't think of the street she lives on, but she was saying that if she could afford to leave, she would. Because she said her neighbors go outside, shooting guns. Actually, her dog, the way we started talking was her dog ran away. she let her dog outside to go use the bathroom, and the neighbors were just shooting up in the air, and it scared the dog, and the dog ran away.
Wow.
And so people like, they're saying, I would leave if I had, if I could. And what's happening is we have good people leaving the city. Good people are leaving, and then bad people are moving in that don't care about the city. So we got to do something, because we cannot afford to lose any more people.
And then to allude to that, they even mentioned when we were out there that a percentage of people that are coming to Jackson to dump the trash, they have Rankin County, Madison County tags. If you see that, take a picture of it. Contact your councilman, contact your city police, that's JPD County Police. Let them know that this is what's taking place, because I promise you, they are not going to allow you to go to Madison County or Rankin County and dump your trash. They will fine you for doing so. So we need to hold them to the same accountability standard that it's unacceptable in Hinds County for you to just tear up our city and terrorize it with trash and debris.
That's it. If I see somebody, I'm telling it. If y'all come down my street, put some trash up there, and I see it, I'm gonna report it, because that's the only way that we are gonna stop it. If you see something, you got to start saying something about it. If you're not reporting it, you're just as much of the problem as the person that's putting it out there.
Correct.
We got to take pride in our city. This is where we live. This is where we raise our families. We got to take pride in it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, looking at this street, I still see it in my mind right now.
It was bad.
It was just like we were in just a third world country. When you look at it, just the garbage. I mean, there were sofas out there, love seats. I mean, whole living room sets out there. Tires. I mean, come on, really. It's no telling what, if you really dig through, what you will find out there. And people talk about, well, the city of Jackson, Public Works, they're not doing anything. But Public Works has cleaned that street up several times. They said the last time they cleaned it up, they came back 2 days later, and it looked just as bad as it did when they first cleaned it up. And so we can't keep on saying what people, they're not doing this and they're not doing that. We have people that are working, but people are going right back and still putting it back down there. So we got to start holding people accountable. When some of these people start going to jail and getting fined, and they make examples out of a few of them, people will stop doing it. And so we gotta do better. And our children, deserve better, and then have to see that. I mean, if you're going home every day and your child is seeing that you're driving through garbage to get home, what message is that sending to our children? So we got to do better. I don't want the trash situation out now.
Well, listen, y'all, it's time to support our lady. I'm speaking. If you don't know what that is, I want to tell you that is Vice President, Madam First Lady Kamala Harris.
Oh, well, I wonder who you were talking about.
She's saying, be quiet. I am speaking. I love it, Kamala. I'm going to give you a shirt, put that on it, because I am in support of you. I hate that Joe decided to bid farewell, but again, we want to salute what he has done for our country.
Absolutely.
And say, we are behind Kamala 100%. If you don't dot all your I's, cross your T's, just know you are not alone. You're not perfect. It takes a great team of people to support your mission. But listen, I have one thing. My pastor always say, if you got God, you got the majority. So if nobody else believes in you, Kamala, I'm quite certain you've had a talk with the Lord to make certain that you are doing the best thing for the people of the United States of America. So you all, let's get out like we did for President Barack Obama and support her. Stop criticizing people for their flaws if you cannot help them. Never come with a problem without a solution. If you're critiquing her on something that she's not doing, provide an alternative solution of how she can improve. But please remember, when you're critiquing other folks, you have flaws too that people could critique. So be very, very careful. But hey, let's get out and vote. And that's your ticket. You know all about the politics, political jargon.
Look, you said it all. And one thing that I'm excited about, I'm excited about our president and our vice president. I'm going to go ahead and speak it into existence. When we look at what the party is doing right now with our candidates, they're finally standing up and they're speaking about things. They're not taking these attacks and just saying, we're going to let you attack. They will check you. If you say something wrong, they're going to check you, and they're going to do it so politely that you don't even know you got checked. And so I'm excited to see that energy because that's really what we need. Another thing, they're pulling up all these different things and they're saying that she did this, he did that. I don't care because you need to look at who you support and the things that he has done and the things that he has said. And so I don't want to hear all of this stuff. They're talking about him. I don't care. They put literally of our vice president candidate, they literally put a picture of his mugshot where he I think had got arrested for a possible DUI back in 1995, and they put his mugshot on the internet.
That amazes me. People can go pull back everything from your past, but if somebody roll the camera back on you, and then you want to put up the Baptist finger and walk out.
I told him, I said, when I saw it, I started to put that on that's my profile picture. Let them know I support him. I don't care. That doesn't matter. I mean,
95 in 2024.
You're talking about 1995, and here y'all are supporting a guy that has 34 felony convictions recently, and you're talking about, something that happened that far back. But when people start digging and people start attacking you, it lets you know that you're on the right path. Because if they did not fear, if they were not afraid, they wouldn't be saying anything.
Correct.
And when you look at it, the momentum is so high. Right now. It really surprised me how high the momentum has been built around her. And so I am supporting. I'm going to ride with her till the wheels fall off. And so I don't care. Whatever y'all want to put out there, y'all put it out there. I'm still supporting. I'm still supporting our vice president candidate. And so I think we may have a caller. And after our caller, we're going to have our special guest that's coming on. All right, so here we go. Hey, caller, you on the air.
Yes, sir. I heard both of you guys saying you want to.
Oh, caller, you're breaking up on us.
Especially in relation to black people, and especially in relation to black people in Jackson, Mississippi. What has she said she's going to do for the black community in America as well as the black community in Jackson, Mississippi? Well, I haven't heard her say anything at all.
Okay, so, all right, our caller hung up on us, unfortunately. Caller, if you want to call back in to continue the conversation, but what I do want to ask you is, can you tell us what Donald Trump has done for us here in Mississippi as well as across the country? Can you look at Vice President Harris's record, being the sitting vice president, and look at all the great things that the Biden-Harris administration has done. And so, we need to start asking questions about the other side as well, too. Anything you want to add to that?
I just feel like this. She doesn't need any introductions. I am a firm believer of this. I have a past, you have a past, and everybody I know that's walking this earth have a past. And no one is perfect. So whatever she has not done, give her the opportunity to do so. But if you're talking and you're not walking the walk and your actions are unaligned, really what you're saying is invalid. And I don't dignify things without a response, especially when I know that she has a target of what she's wanting to accomplish for the United States. We talk about right here in the city of Jackson. You're talking about coming way up there in Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania Avenue, but you got people right here ain't doing it. So when we talking, let's write the checks and put them where they need to be because that's not relevant. You comparing apples to oranges, that's not relevant.
Absolutely. Here we got another caller. Hey, caller, you on the air?
Yes, sir. I'm calling back to defend what they just said.
Okay.
I asked you a question, and with you being a elected official, why can't you answer the question? But I'm going to go ahead and answer your question first with giving you respect. Donald Trump, one thing he has done is he has given money to the HBCUs, which you do support. You may be a graduate of HBCU. I'm a graduate of HBCU.
Absolutely.
He has given a lot of money to the HBCUs. He also sat down and tried to do a platinum plan to fix some economical issues in the black community. He also helped talk to the black preachers about giving money to the black preachers to help the black community, give to the black preachers, the black church. Donald Trump also had a great economy, and I was doing good financially with the little money that I got when he was the president. Things didn't cost that much when he was the president. Right now, things cost too much, And it's not good for black people in Mississippi that's low paid. We can't be spending up all our money. That's why I would like to also get number two where they give away free school supplies.
Yes, sir.
Cause I'm gonna need some Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They have messed up the economy. It costs too much to send a kid to school now. When Donald Trump was president, it cost so much. Gas was down. Also, you could stretch your money a little farther when he was the president. I know you all know that. Everybody doing bad now,
And so,
financially. If you're a common regular person, now if you're doing something else, I may have a business or things of that nature, it may be a little different, but most people just work well as a job, most black folks. And we spend a lot of money fooling with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
and so I do want to put some on your mind because you made a very good point. When you talked about, Donald Trump and how good the economy was under his administration, the reason it was good is because of 8 years of the Barack Obama and Joe Biden administration. When we talk about, okay, I'll let you talk, so give me a moment. So when we talk about presidents, we need to look at the mess that the Biden-Harris administration walked into. Now, COVID did have a lot to do with why the economy was bad, but we need to look at Donald Trump's response to COVID. Now, we're talking about he gave out money. Yeah, he did the PPP. He gave money and extra money to people, but it should have never come to that because millions of Americans died because he would not acknowledge COVID. So we got to start thinking about all of that. And so this mess that they're going to have to clean up is they're still working on it. And we need 4 more years. We need 8 years, actually. We need her in there for 2 terms to clean things up and continue along the trajectory that we're going on.
One more question. I would like for you to answer my question. What has Kamala Harris done or said so far since she's been nominated? She hasn't, if you ask me, the whole internet, the whole social media trying to figure it out. She hasn't said anything she was going to do. As a matter of fact, years ago, she said she's not going to do anything for the black community. And also, sir, I'd like to remind you, when the NAACP went to visit Joe Biden after he got elected, what's his name? Well, who goes to NAACP? He's from Mississippi.
Caller, I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to let you go. The lines are getting back up.
He told him, no, that's just for black people.
Okay. All right. How you doing, caller? You on the air?
Yes, sir. I would like to make a comment on what the last gentleman said about what Donald Trump did for the black people in Mississippi, which is nothing. I don't care what you're talking about.
It's some people. There's still people out there that understand the facts and the truth, and we got people who always kind of try to spin the narrative to change it. And you're absolutely right. He has not done anything for Mississippi, and the money that people are talking about Donald Trump gave. I mean, the COVID relief money. I mean, we can count that as income. People were dying. So that is, to me, that's not relevant. But now,
Right.
but
And I hate to see black people do this.
yes, sir.
And he's not going to do anything. Like you told him earlier, I was listening to you. He gave me good after President Obama.
Yes,
Listen, about money.
yes, and Obama was cleaning up the bad policy of the Bush administration. So he spent 4 years cleaning that up, and then as things were starting to get good, then we lost him. All right, caller, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to let you go. The phone's blowing up here, but thank you for calling. All right, caller, you on the air?
All right, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, ma'am.
I am a long-term educator, and I want everybody who listens to your show, please do not do anything that last caller said. Those are nothing but lies.
Thank you.
If you made over 6 digits, yes, Donald Trump helped you. And it's not a lot of people in Mississippi making it over 6 digits. And somebody has brainwashed him. And if he does not vote for Kamala and see what that Project 2025 do for black folks and other folks. Now, I don't know who is misleading him, but somebody needs to get one of those Project 2025 in his hand and let him read it. If he can read, because it sounds like he can't read. He just following some erroneous information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, caller. All right, and let's see, I've got so who will just move on? Okay. Caller, you on the air? We're gonna get you. Sorry.
Good evening. Thanks for taking my call. I want to commend the last person on the line. I think black people need to go read their Project 2025, and I just reiterate that.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm not afraid to say what I've got to say. I'm not paid. I'm a Democrat, and I don't live in the big man's house. What we're experiencing with this economy is a fallout from Donald Trump.
Amen.
Not only that, somebody made some misstatement. Gas is actually going down from what it was when Donald Trump was president.
Correct. And we thank you so much, caller. We have another
Thank
call.
you so much.
Thank you. You have a great evening.
Okay, we got one more. All right, caller, you on the air?
Hey, she said what I was going to say. I'm so sick of that about that little money that came on with Donald Trump. That's what got him messed up right here.
That's
That damn little check that he gave me. It's good.
And that's why the economy's messed up now. And people fail to realize that. That's what it is.
And Joe Biden did everything they can to straighten that out and everything, but he had that stuff.
Yes.
And they took the least thing talking about that little $600, that little $1,200.
It's been gone.
That's all, baby. I agree, but we got to say though. We got to do it.
All right.
His one vote ain't gonna hurt.
That's it.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, baby.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So as we move on to our next segment of our show, we have a special guest. Go ahead on, Representative Nelson. Tell us about our special guest.
All right, so we have attorney Bridget M. Morgan. She's running for Hinds County Court Judge for Sub-District 2, and she's here to tell us all about her candidacy. So we're going to let you take it away, Attorney Morgan.
Listen, I came on a good day tonight. This phones are running off the hook, and I like it. I'm enjoying it, and I just hope that they keep running off the hook for the local elections. The national elections are very important. I would encourage our people to go and read Rage by Bob Woodard. And what Bob Woodard does is he interviews all of the presidents, and he is able to write a book about how their presidency went for the 4 years. He interviewed them personally, and also people who work in their cabinet, and you'll see just what went on in the White House behind closed doors. That was a really, really good book. I encourage all of y'all to read it before November 5th. But aside from that, I am attorney Bridget Morgan, running for Hinds County Court Judge, Sub-District 2. That was previously the late, great Loretta Cooper Stokes' position. She was the first Black female county court judge in 2014. That's just 10 years ago. And so,
Oh, okay. There we go.
So that's about 10 years ago. That great Loretta Cooper Stokes had this position. Now I am vying to place. I know I can't place her in her shoes, but I'm vying to take that seat on November the 5th.
That's great. One quick thing, can you tell us pretty much what type of cases like the county court judge hears? Like what comes to the court?
Sure. So I've been a public defender in this county court as well as a prosecutor in this county court. So how you get into this county court is 3 ways. As in the criminal court for the adults, you can, if let's say you're arrested by UMC or anybody other than JPD, your first stop is going to be this county court.
Okay.
If you want to sue someone for $200,000 or $0 to $200,000, you end up in this county court.
Okay.
If you are a juvenile dealing with neglect and abuse or delinquency, you end up in this county court. As a prosecutor of the municipal court, some of the cases that I had there, the appeals went to this county court. So they said they beat up the arrest on you. then you'll find yourself going through the municipal court first. But if you don't like that ruling, you'll appeal to the county court.
Okay. Wow, county court does a lot.
It's a middleman court. It's a middleman court. Now you don't go to trial for felonies in the county court, but bails can be set and bonds can be set in the county court. Preliminary hearings can be had in the county court.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I was listening what I wasn't listening because I was over here reviewing I was reading the literature. So let me ask this question. I guess it's probably been asked a multiplicity of times. So what sets you apart from the other candidates that are actually in this race that are vying for this seat? Because Dr. Loretta Cooper so said, I feel like she was listening. Maybe the community so long, so
Exactly.
and been valuable. So
So besides being a woman, I'm the only candidate who can boast that I've had 1,562 trials in this year, right? Between 2023 and 2024. Having been the prosecutor for the last 6 years, I saw every criminal charge that came in Jackson. So if it was a felony or a misdemeanor, their first stop was in my courtroom, right? And so we had those trials Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for misdemeanors. And it was anywhere between 30 to 35 set. At least 10 was on go, right? And so I had those trials. The other two, when I said 1,562, the other two would be the trials that I had. I had a federal trial just in January. I also had a state trial in February. So you want your judge to have real relevant trial experience. I'm not talking about preliminary hearings when you go and you agree to a bond and you go out of there and there's no real argument, no motions being filed or no decision being made. But I'm talking about those jury trials or those judge trials that you had. Also, I'll make note that I am the only candidate, and I hate to have these kind of conversations because it sounds like you're being a little aggressive, but I guess it's getting to the point where you got to decide amongst the three. But I'm the only candidate who has a platform. And that platform that having been the prosecutor for the last 6 years was the issue that I see happening in the county, in the municipal court in the city of Jackson is that when you have those young people who have been arrested, who are under 18, their first stop is in the municipal court. And we're in this scrambling. Clear the courtroom. Where to go? You know why? Because they should be there. Their first stop should be youth court first. And they should be under youth court jurisdiction until a waiver happens. Or until the judge decides, hey, we don't want to take this case, maybe a gun was involved, or whatever the facts and circumstances are, and we'll transfer it to the adult court. And so what you run across is that when you have a young person who starts out in the adult court, they lose those privileges that they otherwise would have had as a youth court person, right? And so you have the news flashing their faces all over the news, and then let's say the case gets dismissed. Guess what? They don't get to erase what's already been in the news. And so we are starting to lose a generation of folk who has these, records. And so what I want to do, day one, is get in there and take that docket. It's a lot, right? If Judge McDaniels, who's a single judge, decides to assign me to civil, I still want that extra docket to make sure those young folks we have real true hearings to decide where they go, right? And we can use people like Job Corps. Job Corps has different places in Mississippi, Florida. The biggest issue is when somebody commits a crime, a young person, it's usually affected by environment, right? And so let's say we actually hear the case and hear why they've been charged with X, Y, and Z. And then we say, okay, Job Corps is a good place for them to go. Let's transfer them to Florida, change their environment, right? They get stipends. You get to get a trade if you don't have a degree, or you get to get your high school diploma. And they got a whole new environment they're in. They're not influenced by where they were. And so I'm the only candidate who's talking about an actual issue, an actual solution. I've talked to Job Corps and figured out how can we get them there. Job Corps said they don't have anybody. They want the people to come, and they can't seem to get anybody there. So I'm the only candidate who has, been working for the last 6 years. I see this happening every day. This is not something I'm just guessing. This is what I'm seeing happen for the last 6 years, and I want to try to do something about it.
I'm glad that you brought up a very good point. We're talking about our children.
Yeah.
And when we look at all of the crime that's happening around town, it's mostly children.
It's mostly children.
And a child can make one mistake, and it will affect them for the rest of their life. We've all been kids, and they've done things, and some of us didn't get caught, some did get caught. But we need a judge with compassion that will figure out alternative sentencing.
Absolutely.
And different things, yeah, because just locking somebody up in jail, it's not going to rehabilitate them.
And I'm running for judge, and people see me now, they see polished. Oh, she got it all together. I came from the Delta. The second child was 7. Mama taking me to on and off the house. I'm the exception to the rule. The poorest part from the hood, as they say, right? Cornerstone each end of the street. seeing the people shoot and do all that. I lived through it all. So I know that, I know how your environment, you can't control it, how you can end up somewhere else. I left home. I graduated Thursday and came to Jackson Friday. Been here ever since, besides going to law school. You see what I'm saying? So I got out and I want to be able to, I do what I do because not only is it my passion, but I know that if I don't, what's going to happen?
And there's so many people that are still there.
It's still there, absolutely.
That's still there. I'm from the Delta as well.
Really?
Yes, from
Yeah.
Harrison City.
So then you heard about what happened in Indianola with the 16, it was a big massive shooting.
Yeah, I did.
Right, and I know one of the young boys, knew his mom, right? And then a week or so later, 3 people got killed. I grew up with this young boy. So I know exactly, I'm no stranger to any of this.
Wow.
Wow. So I have a question. I know that we are backlogged with cases beyond doubt, should I say.
Okay.
So how do you plan to manage the caseload efficiently and effectively to ensure justice?
I love it.
Timely manner, because time is of essence. Things we working on the time constraints now. And also, what specific strategies would you use to make certain that this is something that you would be able to follow through? Because what I've noticed with in the elected arena, I mentioned this to Representative Nelson several times, people come in, they have a game plan beyond I don't know what. The game plan works for the first 30, 60, 90 days, but after that, then we're back to resorting to the same old. So what would be your tactic?
I love it. I'm glad that you asked that question. So having been
Before we go into it, I think we have a caller with a question.
Okay,
Y'all, put that in the parking lot, man. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call. Question.
Yes, sir.
Your guest in the studio this afternoon, is she already a judge, or is she running for judgeship, or what?
Okay,
And
so
what's her name?
okay, so I'm gonna let her answer those questions for you.
Yes, sir. My name is Attorney Bridget.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm Attorney Bridget Morgan. I'm running for Hinds County Court Judge Subdistrict 2. That is Larita Cooper Stokes' position. The late great Larita Cooper Stokes.
Okay.
So, yes, sir. I've been an attorney over 10 years.
Okay, here's 2 questions I'd like to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Do you live in the district?
I live in Hinds County. The requirements is that you live in Hinds County and you be a resident for 2 years. I've been in Jackson since I was 17 years old.
Okay, do you have any radio time with the radio station?
Trying to get there. Now, this is a grassroots campaign, so Representative Nelson is letting me come on, doing what I can here, but we're trying to raise funds now to get that. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thanks. I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your call. I'm sorry, y'all. Back to the question.
All right, Ms. Bowman. So the question was, how could I make sure that the court was ran efficiently? Number one, I would say, because I was a prosecutor for the last 6 years, if you go and talk to any of those judges there, any of the clerks there, right, any of the public defenders, they'll tell you that they were excited when Bridget was the assigned prosecutor that day because our courtroom went by efficiently. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, you got to know what your docket looks like, right? You look at your docket and you're able to say, okay, this is going to take X, Y, and Z long. Court starts at 2:30. They started Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3. You be in court on time because folks on lunch break trying to get to court, right? You got to be aware of that. And so I came in and what I first would do, I would call the roll, right? Make sure who's there. Who's ever not there, whoever is not there, I put a pile to the side. I go in and take care of who's there. And we go and do that. Who's going to go to trial? I know who's going to trial. It's going to take a while. Put you to the side. Who's going to just say, I want to plead guilty, explain why they're pleading guilty, say whatever, and move on. If court started at 2:30, and you can make a phone call to confirm what I'm saying, usually we were out of there within an hour. And if we had trials, maybe it could go a little bit longer. But I guarantee you I wasted nobody's time at all. So I show, because I understand folks are on lunch. Like I said, some moms can barely get out of work, and you got to respect people's time. And so, yeah, that's the way I would be efficiently. I've done it for the last 6 years.
Okay. As far as backlog, what specific strategies would you actually have to reduce the backlog?
So
Or implement it, should I say?
So the backlog. So you need to decide what cases are what, right? You need to decide what dates are what. Usually those cases are moved along by the attorneys filing these separate motions and then setting for hearing. So whatever needs to be set for hearing, set it for hearing. Whatever needs to be settled, let's settle it. But first you want to make sure at least being a judge, a new judge, and coming on to the bench. You want to set up a hearing so you can figure out who the parties are and where we are, and let's get the ball rolling.
Roughly, do you know like how many cases in the backlog right now?
I don't know.
Okay, it's probably quite a bit.
Probably quite a bit, because I know at one point, I know about 2 years ago, we had so many cases backlogged from our appeals that people were appealing just because they knew it was going to the backlog. And that was going on for long. So we started to get the appeals rolling here in the last few years, but before that, people were really taking advantage of just appealing because they knew it was a backlog.
And
Gotcha.
wow,
Yeah.
people play on the system.
Yeah.
What they do well.
Uh-huh.
So let me ask you this: what is your approach to sentencing, especially in cases of nonviolent offenders? We do have some habitual offenders out here that seems to love to. I don't know what it is, but they love it. So how do you balance the need for justice in certain cases, as well as the opportunities for rehabilitation of some of our people?
Well, first I'll say this county court is not sentence, right? As far as if you appeal a misdemeanor, the most you can get is 6 months, right, in jail. So that's as far as sentencing goes. Like I said, there's no felony trials happening to where you can determine somebody going to jail for years, right? And so as a municipal court person who was able to see up to 6 months, and I would determine who can be, like you said, who can be rehabilitated. Everybody can't be rehabilitated. There were habitual offenders when it came to domestic violence. You need to serve those 6 months in jail. You know, some people there was no contact order in place, and you go in a violent, no contact order tomorrow. You know, and so it's those kinds of issues. But then there were those times where, I'll give you an example. There are many men who came into their court, and they'll tell you who have already spent 10 years in prison, and they got out and said, "Hey, I'm trying to get my CDS. And so what Tuesdays and Thursdays are the day to come to court to figure out all your warrants, right? And so we'll get them all the warrants together, and we got a book for this young man. He's been in jail for 10 years. So he got stuff back from 1999. So I look at that. You trying to get your CDL license, you got an interview tomorrow. Judge, can we do time served? It's 2009, we can't even find a victim on this. You know, this hasn't been prosecuted X, Y, and Z. So it's those kind of things where you want to give somebody a second chance, because if he just got out of jail, he doesn't have a job, he can't pay $50,000, and $25 a month is not gonna cut it. He can't get his license until he pays the entire amount. You can't go down to the HP and say, "Hey, I'm on a payment plan. Can I get my license?" Not gonna do it. So it's being aware of how things affect people on down the line, not just in that moment.
Gotcha. Last question before we conclude and give our final remarks. As far as community impact, I believe in community service. I believe in servitude. I believe, as Representative Nelson alluded to, that as an elected official, you all work for us. It's not vice versa. We work for you all. So how do you see the role of judge in shaping the community, particularly addressing poverty, inequality, and crime in Hinds County? Because that's where most of the crime is taking place. I know, we're in the central area of Mississippi, but most of the crime is here in Hinds County.
Right, and so the good question too. My current job is Jackson Police Department attorney. I've done that I started out in 2018, transferred to prosecution, got back into police in April. And one of my responsibilities has been the writing the policy for the body cameras. So the Jackson Police Department has body cameras because Attorney Bridget Morgan wrote the policy on that. The Department of Justice approved that and funded it, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so that helps with crime. That helps with holding officers accountable, as well as holding the public accountable. The cameras you see on the posts as well, and the real-time crimes, and all that happened in 2019 when I was the police attorney. And so currently what I'm doing now, we just had a conversation, this was my idea. We're trying to figure out how to do community-based programs, right? And so one of the things we couldn't get a court order, right? Because the judge decided whether they want to do something or not, right? So the judge wasn't want to do a court order. So I said, okay, let's do this. Let's be unique. These teachers know exactly what child is at risk. So let's partner with JPS with this program, right? And let's take the whole crime piece out. You know what I mean? A child that shouldn't have to commit a crime in order for us to help them. Let's go ahead and go into these schools now, especially middle school to high school. Really, you want to give them middle school because you can change their mind in middle school. High school, they kind of made up, but let's do both of them, right? And so we're gonna get a pilot school, and we got a program in place, and we're looking for that to be on the next agenda. I think the August 30th agenda, where this program is going to take off. And so this is what I'm doing right now as a police attorney, and that program starts off, and hopefully it'll be there by the time you guys elect me as your next judge, and then I'll continue to be able to visit these schools and do what we need to do. Even right now, I have a young man out in the car with me right now who's not my son, because I told people you have to have a program to mentor people, right? You can look at kids and see the spark in their eyes and see that they want more, and you say, "Hey, come with me." It's simple as that. So he sits at my feet.
Okay, so definitely, I do want to say the only thing I want to interject there is I know you mentioned middle school. I have a mentorship program, and
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
currently
Probably key.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, but it's nowadays it's starting elementary. I remember a time where we were playing with dolls and toys and going outside, but that's non-existent now. These kids are into so much
You know, so that we don't even know.
that.
They teach us some things.
And so we gotta just kind of like bend the rules and get inside these elementary schools because the problems are starting there because most of them they're at home alone and honestly most of them are being adults before the actual age is assigned to adults. So definitely, I hope that you all can place this program in elementary schools as well.
I agree. And I really want it to be more so like an after school program. So you can have the parents out as well. Because a lot of parents, you be real. I'm a single mom. And a lot of us are in survival mode. A lot of us are trying to do a whole lot with a whole little, right? We're trying to be at work, be at the football practice. My son at football practice right now. We're trying to be on the radio. We're trying to run for office. My son wants to be Mr. 6th grade. Now I got 2 campaigns to run. So so we trying to do a whole lot with a whole, and so I understand it and I relate to the average voter. And so I'm asking for your vote in Riverfield. That's Attorney Bridget Morgan, like Morgan and Morgan for the people.
Okay.
All right. I like it. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go after you.
I just want to thank everyone for listening to us. We returned from vacation, had a good show.
We should. They were waiting on us.
The people came back ready again. You all, again, I'm Brittany Bowman. I'm just a friend, handy, and Fabian likes to say co-host. I'm just stepping in, filling in when I can and how I can. I do want to let you all know we are organizing a cleanup. We need all hands on deck. If you're interested, contact me 601-421-0877. Please don't call me with any foolishness. If you're not ready to put hands and on deck, feet on the ground, don't call me because I'm a no-nonsense type of person, and I'm really serious about the work that I want to get done in Jackson as well as Hines County. So again, we'll see you all next Thursday before Representative Nelson bids us a good evening.
All right. Well, definitely want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank our callers for calling in. We are going to continue this conversation next week because I think a lot of stones were left unturned, and in respect of our guest, we kind of pivoted a little bit. But we're going to talk more about this because people have to be informed. It's time out for people to spread misinformation. So we're going to really dig deep into it. And the caller that called in anonymously, we want you to call back in again next week so we can have a real conversation about this because we can't allow these things to continue to happen in our community. So until next week, y'all take care of yourselves and each other. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
So thank you. We let me get this ended real quick. Hold on one second. Let me get this.